While visiting the Novasol office in Monteriggioni, in Tuscany, Italy, we visited houses one more beautiful than the other. These are in the famous Chianti wine region, and believe me, I could very well imagine to stay in one of those for a while. Asking Elga and Katja from the Novasol office, who is the owner giving these beautiful houses into rental? I am informed that the owner of 5 of these houses is a real prince. The Principe Ruspoli living in a real palazzo in the middle of his vineyard. We could visit him, says Katja. And Moni and I, we are very curious. A real prince. Coming to his private home, we are impressed. You smell history, tradition, and then we meet a man who, beside being a prince, is a signore molto simpatico, a very friendly man with a lot of humor. He is the owner of a well-established vineyard, Tenuta di Liliano, where he invites us to have a glass of wine, speaking with him about his reason to rent his houses and give them to Novasol. I thank him for receiving us that cordially, and he says, humorous as I mentioned, it is just to talk about diets. Maybe thinking about my knee and its consequences. Telling him that there is a wine diet, he is very interested to talk about that. I would like to talk about his houses with him. So what is the history of these houses and the reason to rent them? He says, in these houses, years and years ago, lived workers of the Liliano vineyard. When their contract was finished, they moved to the neighbor cities. So, when you leave a house without people who live in it, without keeping it, after some years it will be damaged. And this would be a sin to let that happen, because these houses, one by one, have a rich history, dating from the 15th century. The Principe is architect by profession. He was living in Africa for several years, and when he came back, he began to restore the buildings. In that time, tourism began in Tuscany, and a lot of people came. Due to the fact that there are only a few hotels, he began to rent the houses one by one. His professional position as architect made it possible to restore these houses in the old sense, but they had to learn that they had to give him all the advantages of the new times. An ecological swimming pool, for example, brings great acceptance from the guests, so it is a beautiful synergy to keep these houses in the vineyard in good shape by renting them to happy guests. These guests have the possibility to see where our wine is born and how we treat him. They can live the wine.
C'è una bella sinergia tra la produzione dei vini, che è l'attività principale dell'azienda. Allora, questo tipo di lavoro. Novasol mi sembra che abbia sostituito.
Asking him why he gives these houses to Novasol, he answered that the first rental office he gave them to was Quendet. So today they are with Novasol.
Qui in questa zona.
Ah, va bene. No, wunderbar. At that time, rural tourism began. This has allowed to be where the ambience and an important patrimony, and to show people the beauty of this piece of earth. What is important for this region, I ask him. He says that the places of interest have to be shown, the traditions of the houses, wine and agriculture.
'Questo ha effettivamente permesso.
It was a great pleasure to talk to him, and we say goodbye, but not for the last time.
È stato sì, solo parlo per me, è stato un gran piacere.
Allora, è un piacere anche per me, perché lei è simpatico, nonostante che io le dica.
Grazie.
Grazie.